Oh, step back in light skin.
Welcome everyone to the am I allowed to say this? Sure. Okay. The Light Skinned Opinion Podcast with your host, author, and culture commentator Chris Maddox, blogger and overall asshole Alf954. And there's no way I'm saying this. It's offensive. Sure this is okay? Fine. And our dark-skinned producer, Parrish Thompson. What do we have today, boys? I mean, guys, not boys, because... Oh, fuck it.
One, two. Hey. 1, 2. Hey. 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest episode of Light Skin Opinions Podcast. How y'all doing? We done missed y'all so much. I am your host, Christopher Maddox, and I got my two compadres here with me. One time for the man at Alf954. What's going on, Alf?
Sakpase.
Nabule, Toot Moon, something like that. Parrish Thompson, what's going on, P?
My boys, what's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, we gotta let y'all know Parrish is coming to us here with a deficit, kind of like Anthony Davis, dog.
Laid up.
My man laid up. My man pulled his Achilles. Now you may ask you ruptured.
Yeah, I'm on you downplaying the shit, my nigga.
Now you may ask yourself, is this man a weekend basketball warrior? You might ask him, is he a flag football league MVP? Or is he just a father with a growing son?
I was about to say you just old. What? Yeah. How you bust your Achilles? What were you doing?
I didn't tell you. I tore my Achilles whooping my son's ass in basketball.
That sounds like you got your ass whooped.
No. What it was we played 2 games. The first game I whooped his ass 21-6. He's 13. He's talking a little shit. He's starting to get hair in places he never had hair before. Mm-hmm. So he's starting to feel himself. So he was like, I can beat you. I was like, you can't beat me. You're not ready yet. So I had to take him out there. I had to show him what was what. My mistake was he was like, all right, you got me. Let's run it back. I tried to run that second game back.
No, never.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
That Achilles said, not today, sir.
How old is your son?
13. He's turning 14 this year.
Yeah, when they start hit that teen, get your win and bounce, my nigga. I'm telling you.
Get your win and bounce. And then you got to ride that win for a while. Like, as long as you can.
The only way you run it back is if he wins.
Yeah,
when he get around 15, 16, 17, he going to get one on you.
Oh, yeah, but once he gets one, that's it. We're never going to play again. Like, I'm going to have one loss, and that's it. We're never playing again.
You got to run it back and play dirty as fuck that next game.
But now that you're injured, that might be your last dub, cuz. The next, you might be,
Well, we gonna play again because I know he don't want to go out like that. He don't want to go out his last game with his old man getting beat 21-6. So I know he's gonna want to run.
Yeah, you play at 21. That's your problem.
Yeah.
We play by twos though. We play by twos and threes.
Okay,
I was about to say y'all supposed to go to 11.
Oh, shit, I used to play my son till 5 and get them quick 4 and bow, bow, bow.
Out of here. Go in the house.
Then step back for that last and walk away. Game.
Yeah, that second game whooped that was my mistake, man. I should have took my victory and just went home.
So in other words, you had a win on the board, and maybe you just should have left when you was up, right? That's kind of what we've settled on.
Leave when you up. Lesson for all the boys and girls out there.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our first topic tonight is about some people who can't. What's the way to phrase this? I think I want to say they can't win for losing, but I think it's best to say they can't win for winning. We're talking about the Democratic Party, man. You all remember the energy surrounding this latest campaign. You all remember how vibrant it all was, and a lot of promises were made. A lot of promises are made, and it seems like a lot of Joe Biden's promises rest in the hands of a man named Joe Manchin from good old country Appalachia from West Virginia.
Real quick, Parrish's son just sent me a video of Parrish right after that last game.
Oh no! No, not in the Sandlot ones.
Those PF Flyers, man.
That boy Parrish was out there with the pigeon toe, the injury pigeon toe.
Yeah, broke both his ankles. Goddamn. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
You had that video, man. You've been waiting to use that video.
we had that breaking news. Breaking news.
Yeah, man. So let's do a quick recap, and then we're gonna move the show along here. So yeah, y'all know Joe Biden made a lot of promises, and a lot of people voted for him based on those things that he said he'd be willing to do. Point number one, and Alf, I want to hear this from you in particular because I'm surprised by this next fact. Joe Biden has turned out to be a lot more progressive than I think people gave him credit for or thought. A lot of people, including myself, thought he was going to get into office. He was going to sit down in the Oval Office and be like a caretaker and just make sure this thing ain't go off the cliff. My man is in there and he's proposing, major pieces of legislation. And I'm on board with every last part of it. Like, I think all of it is right where the country should be going. Unfortunately, though, Joe Manchin, I think her name is Kristen Sinema. You got some Democrats who was like, nah, buddy, I can't do it. Primarily because they want to keep their seats in the little, I don't want to downplay these folks, the little 75,000 loyal constituents can hold up, you know what I mean? Like an entire potentially agenda. National changing agendas. But what's your opinion, first of all, on the progressive nature of what Biden has been doing?
I do agree that he's been a lot more progressive than we thought he would be. Mm-hmm. But I will also say that it feels like he jumped out that gate progressive, and then somebody says some shit, he eases back a little bit, and he goes back towards the middle. He keeps going back towards the middle, and then by the time the legislation is done with, it's not nearly as progressive as it started off, or nearly as progressive as the initial promise was. And now I understand that that's politics. Like, this is part. I mean, if you remember Obamacare was damn near, Medicare for all. At the beginning, universal health care. Mm-hmm. And then
with a public option.
Yeah, it got basically whittled down to what it ended up being, the Affordable Care Act. So I understand that it's politics, but I wish that I just feel like because, and maybe I'm not blaming Joe Biden, I just wish the Democrats, with holding as much power as they do right now, would stop acquiescing to the Republicans who are not in power, because the Republicans never gave an inch to the Democrats.
And well, you see, he's basically said, the White House said, we not talking to y'all no more. Y'all can have your own discussions, but the White House has said, I'm pretty much through with it. The only other option then is the reconciliation option, where you could get a straight majority vote. You still would need Kamala Harris to cast that deciding vote. But all of these great plans, and it's held up. And let's talk about this first of all. I don't understand why Republicans. I mean, I understand, right? But they elected Donald Trump because they wanted the country to be run like a business. What business doesn't reinvest profits? What business doesn't make massive investments in capital gains, for example? Like, you have to put money into the machine to keep the machine running. You feel me,
Chris? You can't squeeze the middle class anymore. You definitely can't squeeze the poor people anymore, or people living barely above the poverty line. So where does the money have to come from? The money has to come from their biggest donors. And that's what the problem is. They do not want to tax the rich. So when you have a $3 trillion or $2 trillion piece of legislation, you got to scale it back to 1.9 billion, 1.5 billion, 900 million. You got to scale it back to mitigate the impact on your large donors, on the billionaires that basically fund your party. So you cannot just sit there and say, okay, yes, this all sounds like great. These ideas are great. And even if your constituents, that's the thing about Republicans, that it's hard to understand, but when you get down to the money aspect of it, this is why they do what they do, because your constituency, even Republicans, are overwhelmingly in favor of so many of these bills, this legislation, infrastructure, all the COVID-19 relief. Republicans were overwhelmingly in favor of it, but the problem is when it comes time to pay for it, you have to go get, you got to go send that bill to the money man up on Wall Street, and they don't want to do that.
These proposals are some of the boldest, like putting Republicans on the spot. I feel like, because I'm like, who doesn't want greater elder care for your older folks, especially
Who
coming
doesn't
out of
want
COVID?
better roads? Who doesn't want Wi-Fi and broadband in rural communities?
Well, they say that they'll do the traditional infrastructure route, but they are diametrically opposed to the human infrastructure stuff, which is like real deal. And that to me is a giant spotlight on the fact that it's a little heartless over there on the right side of the aisle, or they have painted themselves into this corner of where, even if you say, hey, look, we want to put more money into the economy, into our elder care market. Everybody can't afford to go back to work, especially if you got to take care of people and this and the other. And the everything that I hear like pushing back against that from the right is the same old thing. Just what you're talking about is, oh well, the taxes.
That's because, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say you kind of hinted on it, and I know you didn't mean it as maybe as bluntly as you said it, but it just, I don't think the right really cares about anybody under this class, under the high the higher class,
under like
$100,000
or
right,
more,
even
higher
more,
than that.
even that, more than that. I would say 250 at least. You know what I mean? Like they just don't care about people under that tax bracket. So I like what Alf was saying. I think you actually mentioned it before. Is you wanted somebody in the White House who's just going to be extreme left, because they're going to whittle it down anyway. So I mean, I actually really like what Joe Biden's been doing also, because he's just hitting them. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I want.
He's swinging for the fences, which is what you want,
But Chris, you said an important thing. It's like he is making them go on record. Oh, you don't want elder care.
Yeah.
Well, write that down. You don't want these roads and broadband in rural areas. Write that down. You don't want, you're not for COVID relief. Write that down. Because then their mayors and their governors in their red states are applauding these plans, saying we need this
running
money.
on them.
They're
the
running
COVID
on the
plan that so many of them hated. Now they're bragging about it as if they had something to do with the negotiations.
So now when the midterms come around, you start juxtaposing. Your local mayor said this. Your local governor said this. They needed this money. Even your local house representative voted for this. But your senator came back and said, no, he didn't want y'all to have this money. He didn't want you guys to have COVID relief. He didn't want you to have PPP loans for small business. PP loans are something different. But he didn't want you to have PPP loans for small businesses. Like
PPP loans come from the Bank of R. Kelly.
It's the PPP loan. The Golden Shower Department.
I have deemed you worthy for the PPP loan.
That's from Goldman Sachs for real. But now all these dudes are on record.
Yeah,
right. Like,
and that was one of the great. That's one of the great strategies of Mitch McConnell, was to never let things come to the floor so that you didn't have people get on the record.
Like the pay equality.
The Ledbetter law, or
basically like trying to make sure that men and women get paid the same. In 2021, you have 50 Republicans voting against it. Yeah, and if the funny thing is, Kristen Sinema ain't even show up for that motherfucker.
I ain't even show up for it, and that's the thing. Where I'm like, those should be easy campaign ads. If you're on the left, look, this man voted against equal pay. You got you have a daughter, right? Right. Like, you have a daughter who's striving, who's trying to make something of herself in the world. These people don't think that she should get paid, and so that, to me, I think Republicans are painting themselves into a very difficult corner. But let's talk about the filibuster really quickly. The filibuster definitely it's rooted in slavery. It was a way to make sure that Southern states could fight back against the majority. And it's kind of a contradiction in terms. This is democracy. It's supposed to be, we're taught in school, it's majority rule. But in America, with the Electoral College and with the filibuster, democracy is a lot more like, hey, you guys are too strong, I need a chance. Like, it's not as majority rule as we would like to think. Joe Manchin is against voting down the filibuster. Now, the filibuster is basically this: if you don't have 60 votes, people can shoot your bill down. It used to be that you had to stand up and actually talk and discuss and debate
Y'all remember that famous movie with Jimmy Stewart, Mr. So and So Goes to Washington. That whole
Mr.
movie,
Smith
he's like
or whatever,
Mr. Smith. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing that's like the romanticized version of the filibuster. But what I want you guys' opinion on is does Joe Manchin really believe that if he doesn't vote to get rid of the filibuster, that Republicans won't, when they're in power, you know what I'm saying, just completely do away with it if they need to. Now, the argument is if Democrats get away with it and they get rid of the filibuster, then that means when Republicans inevitably gain control again, they won't need the input of the minority party either. So it all sounds good. But I don't know if Joe Manchin is I don't sense if he's genuine in his opposition or if he's just out here trying to save his neck because he's a Democrat in a red state.
That's the whole thing. And here's the problem with Joe Manchin. To me, Joe Manchin's calculus is all wrong, right? His calculus is if he continues to play this centrist role, I'm super bipartisan. I'm towing the line. I'm right and I'm left. I'm fair. I believe in the filibuster. A relic from Jim Crow should stay intact, right? So he's trying to present that this is who he is. This is his platform. The problem is the Republicans are not. They're not, the people are the center and the center right and right wing. They're not giving him any props for what he's doing.
Not even a little bit.
Like no Trump Republican is out here like, well, you know what? Hey, that Joe Manchin is fake.
Exactly.
God damn it, that Joe Manchin is a fair. He's a straight shooter. I'm voting for him. No, they're not voting for you. But what you will lose is every fucking progressive Democrat is going to stay the fuck home. They ain't voted. They're going to go out there and vote for governor. They're going to vote for their representative. They are not going to cast another ballot for Joe Manchin. Honestly, if I was in West Virginia, I always will say blue no matter who. But if as a true progressive, I shouldn't vote for that motherfucker.
No, not at all. He's not making that calculus because in his mind, there's no way that the scales tip enough in West Virginia.
There
aren't enough young people in West Virginia.
But he can't win the Democratic nomination without the Democratic vote.
Period.
So he is gone when
and
his term is up.
He keeps talking about, oh my gosh, we're going to make democracy work. We're going to make democracy work.
You might as well. You get the Democratic Senate seat in West Virginia. You might as well do everything you can to pass legislation because you will not be reelected. I don't care what you do.
you will not. And plus, West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the union.
His constituents need this money.
I read a whole story on CNN. They were like, "Oh, what does Joe Manchin's constituents think about his bipartisanship?" Blah blah blah. Part of the article was how the hometown that he was raised in is crappy as shit right now. How it ain't nothing in that bitch.
Ain't a mansion in that motherfucker.
Right? How people are moving away. How
in more ways than one. That motherfucker don't live there no more.
Who wants to live in West Virginia though? Really?
Not me.
Exactly. And it's one of those. He's from one of those towns where they still. They out here reminiscing about the good old days of working in coal mines and shit. I'm like, sir, it's your job to come in here and say, hey, y'all, let's forget about the coal mines and let's move on. Let's move toward, building what you call them things,
renewable energies,
renewable energies. Yeah. Let's transition all of this from coming out of the mines in
the 21st century. Like,
no, man, there's some coal left to be mined up here.
I'm
man.
like, no, you can be the guy who leads everybody forward. That's one thing I feel like is leaving in politics, especially on the right. Nobody on the right wants to be the guy that says, "Hey, look, everybody, there's a brighter day this way."
Oh, let's go. We're harkening back to the old days. Like you have to make people nostalgic about a time where where their job in a factory could pay for, a 4-bedroom house on 2 acres of land. You could send your kids to college and have enough money to buy you another car. You know what I mean? They harken back to those good old times.
But so people in West Virginia, that also includes harkening back to your mother's 3 brothers all dying of black lung.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? That's
but if you romanticize it enough, these motherfuckers will be like, yeah, make America great again, right? So it's all about giving this nostalgia to the old days when none of that shit works anymore.
None of it.
My bad. That's also ignoring the fact that nobody wants to work in a coal mine anymore.
No,
Like,
they're taking away the mining.
Work in the coal mine. Like,
nobody, cuz
they're taking away the mining jobs for motherfucker working at Microsoft. Like,
yes.
nigga, you work at Gap. Like, what are you upset about this coal
But
mine?
and that's the part that I feel like Republicans are fucking us all up, just to be straight up with you. Because come on, y'all, it's the 20th century. It's, we're in 2021. We need to be moving forward. The infrastructure bills got money in it to finally do something that if you don't do this, you'll never get the electric car market off the ground. It's to build charging stations all across the country.
But what about the pipelines and the oil and the gas?
Did you see that they just now pulled the plug on the Keystone pipeline? They was trying to build that shit forever. Finally, buddy, he chopped it down. You feel me? And this to me, if I could ever be in any of these meetings with these people, I'd be like, put that juvenile track on. Like, I thought you was a businessman, huh? Like, I thought you was like some type of genius, huh? Like, you don't. All you can do, you haven't peeped enough yet. You're so scared to let go of this little the fossil fuel money that you got coming in.
They're not businessmen. They're not successful because of innovation.
Not at all.
Okay,
which is supposed to be an American thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not successful because of innovation. What they do is they take innovation from other places, China, Germany, and they take those innovations and then they apply them to their own businesses, usually at the expense of their workers. So any kind of innovation that would actually require for you to invest in people, invest in your workforce, invest in the communities that you build. In this country, they basically reap from the environment and reap from the community. They take from the community. They use up all the resources, and then they take their businesses and move them somewhere else and say, well, we can't afford to operate there anymore. When you done polluted all the water, polluted the ground. There's fucking people with cancer and black lung and shit, and now you done moved your operation to China. You know what I mean? Or you automated through Chinese innovation. You're paying China the money for these robots and these automated machines, and you're laying off American workers. So you want to sit down in a room with these people. These people are not innovators.
They're not innovators
They're
at all.
What they are. They're parasites is what they are.
I'm looking at you're making me think a little bit like on a smaller level of what's going on here in Florida with the cruise industry. The cruise industry is a huge deal in Florida. Carnival and all these cruise lines, whether they're sailing out of the port of Miami, out of Port Everglades, out of Port Canaveral, out of Port Charlotte on the other side. And DeSantis is like, he does this political thing. Hey, we don't, vaccine passports. The CDC is telling them, hey, y'all can get y'all boats running. Just make sure everybody vaccinated. And they're fighting against that. And I'm like, and the dude from the CEO of Carnival, who I did not know is a black man, I saw him on an interview, and Buddy said, hey, these ships got motors. We don't have to sail out of Florida. And I'm like, if that ain't, I'm like, so you willing to cost us $1 billion industry for the state of Florida for this fake political struggle about vaccine passports? And I'm like, these people there, you can't have a ship full of people if you don't know everybody on this ship. It is a cruise ship, nigga.
Nobody's trying to get that lawsuit. That I think Royal Caribbean folded, and they're the only ones. But the funny thing is, like, I've had people be like, "Oh, what do we care if the cruise lines leave?" Wait. Do y'all not realize? Have you ever been to Fort Lauderdale downtown on like a Thursday or Wednesday, and you just see a bunch of fucking foreign people speaking another language in a fucking bar? You know what they're doing the next day? They hopping on a motherfucking cruise. They're staying in all these all these cruise port hotels. They stay in the hotels. They hang out in Fort Lauderdale or Miami for a night. They get back to their hotel and then they go on a cruise. So the tourism industry in South Florida is hugely dependent on cruisers, customers, whatever you want to call them.
And all the money that they generate when they're on land, when they're on the boat,
they gotta stay somewhere first. We're discounting, and so to prove a political point, Ron DeSantis, when these companies, it's not like he's forcing them to take vaccine passports. They are saying, as a business proposition, it is better for us to require vaccines. One, for lawsuits. Second, just because we want people to feel safe on our ships.
And we have not sailed in a year plus.
Listen, I'm vaccinated.
People,
I'm not
everybody
going on a cruise without vaccine passports.
And we all remember that it was the cruise ships where this thing first caught the world's attention.
When that motherfucker was circling the fucking
circling for 3 weeks. I felt so bad for those people, but that was
they ran out of the good food. They was eating that fucking quarter food.
They had motherfuckers staying in their room for weeks. You know how small a cabin? I don't know cruises, right? How small,
especially if you didn't have a balcony, and now you want to go to the same. If I ain't had no balcony,
have you ever made that mistake of getting one of them inside rooms to save like $200?
Never. I
did my first cruise. I'll never do that shit.
Never do it again.
Never.
No. You feel like you're on the bottom of a cruise ship.
Bitch, I was sick the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know our ancestors went through a lot, but I felt something when I was trapped that dark room.
When it comes to cruises, I'm balcony or I ain't going. If I can't get no balcony room, then I'm not going. I don't even want no little porthole. Like, I need to be able to open this shit.
You want to open
shit? Yeah.
Because what I thought because I get seasick. But I thought if I was in the inside room and I couldn't see the water, no, nigga, I need to see the horizon.
Yeah.
Well, I can't get my bearings and I'm sick as shit.
Yes, I need to know where I am.
I'm going to be the last nigga to know we sinking.
And Ron DeSantis wants to tell people, nah, it's all right. Get back on these potential virus petri dishes.
Goddamn.
I like, come on, dog. That don't even make no sense. But the point being is that you're willing to cut off your nose to spite your face to make these weird little political points. And in a way, Joe Manchin is doing the same thing. You're going to make the opportunity that you have that was hard won as a Democrat to make some change in the nation. You're going to, in order to make this grand philosophical point, you're going to say, hey, look, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And then if you lose in the midterms, and if one of the arguments against you is, hey, look, y'all gave them a shot. Look, they ain't do nothing. Then what you going to say, Joe Manchin? What you going to say, dog?
Well, before obviously the cruise ship conversation actually leads us into our next topic, which is a masterful pivot by you. But before we go to the next topic, talk a little bit about manscaped.com, guys. Go to manscaped.com, use the promo code LSOPOD. You can see it on your thing once I pull it back up. See it right there on your screen. Use the code LSOPOD for 20% off your order.
20% off.
That is big time. We have all received our Manscaped kits. Them shits are fire. They work really well. And it's not just the razors and shit. They got all kinds of other stuff, ball refreshers and ball deodorants.
They got all of that. Let me tell you something. As a man who lives with a woman, right? When you go into the bathroom and the bathroom gets overtaken, you feel me? Sometimes it's nice to have a little corner with your ball deodorant. To have a little corner with your little products. You know what I'm saying?
I got shit too.
I got shit too. I live here too.
Are y'all double sink? We all live with women, right? Are y'all double sinkers? You got to have the double sink.
I got a double sink.
I don't have a double sink.
Yeah, you hurt. Yeah, you hurting, bro. Yeah, you in the world of hurt over there, bro.
You got your Manscaped stacked up,
bro. Let me tell you.
You got a Manscaped tower, little bottle.
My wife has given me I have a box. It's a little like wooden craft looking box with all my bathroom shit in it, and that's it. So
all your shit got to stay in the box, and her shit is just
you don't get no under cabinet space, nothing.
I got no under. Go ahead.
I actually I use on a consistent basis my guest bathroom. I shower in there. I keep all my lady. Listen, she has beautiful hair. She keeps it up. I'm natural, but she is a product. Junkie. My God. She is. We have bought over the toilet cabinetry, shelves, underneath the fucking. She has it all. I gave her all of it. I just went into the guest bathroom, put my little Manscaped stuff here, put a little stack, and I'm done. I got stuff in the nightstand. Just to get ready in the morning. I'm going to 3 different rooms and shit. But listen, keep the ladies happy.
You gotta make the rounds.
And keep
the ladies happy in more ways than one.
And use your Manscaped and keep the ladies happy. Nobody,
because we talked about this before.
It ain't the 70s.
Sometimes they just tolerating the body hair. You know what I'm saying?
Because they love you. You know what I'm saying? Do something for them. But anyway,
do something for them. Get your balls together, bro.
Get your balls.
LSOPOD. I like that.
LSO pod 20% off Manscaped to get your balls together, man.
And get your shit together, unlike this lady.
Yes, vaccines do harm people. By the way, so I just found out something when I was on lunch, and I wanted to show it to you. We were talking about Dr. Tenpenny's testimony about magnetic vaccine crystals. So this is what I found out. So I have a key and a bobby pin here. Explain to me why the key sticks to me. It sticks to my neck, too. I got those. Yeah, so if somebody can explain this, that would be great. Any questions?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing up there?
You old sweaty, sticky chest, nasty, like
sticky chest, honey fingers. I was making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and some of the jelly still on my fingers and shit sticking up. Bro. Stop it! I love how these people come to these meetings with like their fake research. Like I can see them in my mind walking up with like a portfolio with a bunch of jumbled papers in it. Like, oh God, I gotta go and do my.
Look at this! Look at this!
Like, look. I'm like, ma'am, are you kidding me? So Alf, you're fully vaccinated.
Yes, I am.
I got one shot. I got one more to go. I ain't got no metal sticking to me. I don't know.
Well, okay. Can I explain what this lady's talking about a little bit?
Go ahead, sir.
There are the vaccine conspiracy theorists that are saying that the vaccine contains metallic magnetic crystals,
and it can turn you into Magneto.
They're turning you.
Chris, this is what I said. You've been looking forward to this shit, bro. I'm like, you can't wait till you get your second shot. You've been looking for superpowers since you was 12, man. This is a marketing campaign. I don't understand why she's so upset.
I don't know why she's so upset.
Yeah, listen, let me be Magneto for a day.
You better learn how to use that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
You better put some change into the vending machine and then zap it back out.
I got my Cheetos.
I'm like, dang, I wish I didn't get the magnetism version. Like what?
Sticky skin hoe. What? Shut up.
Shut up.
She just needs a shower. She just ready.
You're greasy, bitch. Like, what are you talking about? Trying to stick a bobby pin to her neck.
Yeah, and that shit was dead falling. Like
and she trying to hold it there. You see that?
Yeah.
You see that? Like,
please explain this to me. Bitch, you dirty.
Any questions? When's the last time you showered? You always seen somebody dirty got like a little ball of dirt.
Yeah.
Under their neck.
It's tacky right here. It's a little tacky.
Any questions? Why do we still have doing open mic? That's the question. Why did we let you up here?
What are your credentials, huh? Like, why are you here?
Why are you here? But this is an issue, though.
She's a nurse, by the way. I'm sorry.
And I saw another one of these videos with a lady who was I have to look it up. I didn't look it up. A doctor of osteopathic doctor. I'm like, what exactly is that? But it was a doctor of. They were doing it on CNN with the pin, trying to make the pin stick to the head. These people with these fake ass credentials.
You need to call Professor X out this motherfucker.
What? You need to go into spend 6 months and learn how to hone them powers.
My thing is too, if I'm gonna get up on the mic in front of everybody, I'm gonna make sure this shit works, man. Like,
I would have.
Like, what are you up there second guessing yourself for, man? You need to put some stickum on that shit, man.
Exactly. I have so much. I just have Elmer's all over this shit.
Just so I didn't embarrass myself like that. But this is an issue.
But I need a little help. You know what
this is an issue because Biden set what seemed like when it first started, like a very achievable goal. Y'all remember he got in office, people was getting vaccinated, and it looked like they was going to hit this number. I think it was like 70% or whatever, that they were going to hit that number with ease, and then it starts slowing down. And the closer we get to the summer, the more we get these crazy conspiracy theories about the vaccine. And I don't know how you combat that. I think the White House, I think Joe Biden and all them are just going to have to resign themselves. And all of us are going to have to resign ourselves to the fact that there's going to be about 35-40% of people who ain't never going to get vaccinated. Maybe more than that. I was trying to hedge my bets a little bit with the Trump people plus a couple others, because I know some black people.
It ain't just Trump people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my thing. So here's where I've gotten to. I want to know where you guys are at on this. Because I know, Paris, you ain't like huge on the whole vaccine thing. I don't think you're not questioning the science.
No, I'm fully vaccinated.
I know you are, but you were never like, but it was there's two different kinds of people to me. Like, I have friends that are just like, man, I'll get to that shit when I get to it. Them niggas procrastinate on everything. You know what I mean? Child support and everything. So they'll get to this shit when they get to it. They have some questions about it, so they're not out in a rush. They're not running up on these streets to go get vaccinated. Like, I've been doing my thing for this long. I ain't catched the vid yet, or I caught a little case. I'm back on these streets. They're like, I'm straight. I got the antibody. So I know I get that side of it. And I got no qualms with those people. For me, I'm a little bit, it's more like, come on, do for the greater good of humankind. The more people get vaccinated, the less the virus spreads, the less it mutates, the less variants. Because we're at the point right now, we're probably going to need booster shots every year for a few years because not enough people gotten vaccinated, so the shit's going to keep mutating. So next year, there's going to be some Brazilian strain or some Ethiopian strain that's going to be fucking us up. So that's my first point. But the people I got a fucking problem with are the ones that spread the just straight up bullshit and disinformation. And try to dissuade other people from getting the vaccine. Like, go ahead and make your own dumbass choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm fine with it. I have people who were like, man, let the motherfuckers die. I'm like, whoa.
You seen that guy on TikTok? It's like, oh, you don't want to take the vaccine? Well, then die then. He's like, I'm not about to debate with you. Like, well,
I don't fucking care. But that's how I feel sometimes. I'm like, I'm done with the debates with niggas. You know what I'm saying? At this point, and I love the people like, oh, we need more information. You are not even you're not even absorbing the information that's already readily available. What more information do you need? There is no more. Listen, and we are going to keep learning about the vaccine, and I understand that shit. But if you have not even taken the time to absorb the information that's readily available, what more information? Like, if they make a novel about it, are you going to read it? Because, bitch, you're not even reading. You're not even watching the news about it. But you want more information? You ain't going to read no textbook.
Here's something that I'm like, I could see this happening. I could see, because I know, Parrish, I think your job situation was like, you got to get vaccinated because we out here doing these shows.
No, actually, they've been cool about it. Yeah, the job's been cool about it. It was really my wife, Nikki, she was just worried because of everybody in the house. Her parents are kind of in the danger range. And of everybody in the house, she's got the weakest immune system. So she's like, if anybody's going to catch the shit, it's going to be me. So she got it first. Right.
But
so I got it just to keep peace in the house.
I got you. Okay, so there you go. But where I was going with is because I'm just waiting for the day in the school system where they say, hey, look, you got to be vaccinated. Kids already can't come to school without various immunizations. But I could see it happening to where you get a lot of these people who refuse to get vaccinated. Jobs eventually might start requiring it. And then you're going to see Republicans all off in the Congress trying to pass something, unemployment for these people. Or some type of like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, they're going to do what DeSantis did and make it illegal for like employers can't require you to get a vaccine in Florida.
But I was listening to a podcast about that, and it was like employers definitely can. They can make it part of your employee contract.
Yeah, for sure. Theaters can't, because there's actually a theater in Miami. They're requiring their whole staff to be vaccinated because of the shows.
Yeah,
and actually, real quick, I got a homegirl who's actually thinking about leaving because she doesn't want to get vaccinated, and it's not because she doesn't believe in the science, but she's got some pre-existing health conditions, and she's actually waiting to talk to her doctor. She's like, I actually want to talk to my doctor and see what he suggests for me personally. And I'm like, I respect that. You know what I mean? Like,
I respect the fuck out of that. Like, that's some real shit. You got real concerns, but like, it's to me, it's just like I love Pete Rock and CL Smooth. They reminisce over you. Maybe the greatest hip hop song of all time.
Yes.
But this nigga on Instagram all the time spreading lies. And I'm just like, you woke ass nigga, shut the fuck up. That's my whole thing. Stop spreading lies about, like, there's not a single thing that and you know what it is? It's like, we listen to these niggas for so long. With their conspiracy theories, and some of them seem legit, but Illuminati and got my mind so like, and now they fed into that shit, and now they're all like 50, 60 years old. They're like, y'all ain't listen to us, and we're like, yeah, we did, but nigga, like, chill. Like, that was cool when we was bopping to it. This is real life.
This is a whole real life at this point. Out here. This is real life at this point.
This ain't Illuminati while my mind so my body.
I understand people's concerns as well. I understand, people who, I have a cousin who we was talking about it in the family situation. He was like similar to what you talking about, P, because we got older people in our family, and all the older folks in our family, they going to give they vaccinated, and they like, cool, I need y'all to be vaccinated so we can come together, and they don't have to have that little whatever. I got one cousin, he like, no, I don't trust the government, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I hear you, dog, but neither do I. But there's just some things to where I don't know if I want to say you got to take a risk on that. I don't trust the government either. But then again, this isn't like the government didn't make this in the. Right. They didn't make this in the Pentagon. You know what I mean? Like this is different.
That my problem is what
public companies. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to ride and say, okay, look, I will trust that these people have done what they're supposed to do, and that this shit ain't gonna kill me. And so thus far, I haven't gotten superpowers and I haven't died. So I guess I'm all right.
My thing is this thing has been created and distributed over two maybe diametrically opposed political ideologies, right? Mm-hmm. Trump started it, Biden finishing it, right? So it ain't no right wing, left wing conspiracy over over the pandemic. I mean of the vaccine. All right. So now when people say, oh, they give black people one, they give white people another. Listen, nigga, I've been to Publix. Okay. Them people behind Publix don't. If there was a black vaccine and a white vaccine, that black lady at the Publix pharmacy be like, look at this bullshit, y'all. Look at this shit. They got a B and a W. It's for black people and white people. Bullshit, y'all. Don't take this shit.
That's what those
you know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. That's what those conspiracy theories.
Everybody at Publix is in on it.
That's what I'm about to say. That's what those conspiracy theories do. They lump everybody in on. Everybody's in on it. Everybody at Publix is in on it. If a mixed
person comes in that passes for white, what you gonna give them? The W? Or you got a little W, little B?
But why? Like you said. Why would the government want everybody to have Magneto powers? Like what? What purpose does that serve?
They put a microchip in you, and motherfuckers are saying this shit from their iPhones.
From their iPhone.
I don't trust Bill Gates. You got Samsung. Are you using?
Speaking of that, do you know how to? P, do you know how to find my iPhone shit works? I just found this out the other day. You know to find my app like on your app.
It's because of the vaccine.
But it works because it uses pings not just from your phone but from every other iPhone in the immediate region.
Yeah.
And then now that's some old creepy ass shit if you want to be creeped out. Nigga, not a fake vaccine that's gonna give you a microchip.
I forgot the setting, but in your phone, like your phone tracks you. Like that's how you can check in to all your places. Like you actually have to turn that on.
Let's stop acting like they are tracking us. Like I will talk about some shit. Like because we talked about Manscaped tonight, guarantee you I get a Manscaped. I didn't have to search Manscaped.
No,
I didn't have to buy something from Manscaped. I guarantee you IG is gonna fucking send me some Manscaped shit. You wanna know what else is fucked up? And I'm tired of IG for this shit because you trying me. Stop sending me fat nigga clothes on IG. They keep sending me big plus size nigga clothes. And I'm like, how you know? I don't be going to XXL.com and
Are
shit.
you sure you ain't been on Big Daddy? What's that shit called? Big Daddy XL or whatever?
I may be on some BBW sites, but I ain't been on no big nigga dress shirts.com. Like they said, oh, it'll hide your belly. Bitch, how you know? How you know I need to hide a belly?
Big nigga dress shirts.com. I can see that buddy in his pitch meeting. Now, everybody listen. I got an idea.
Big niggas need dress shirts.
This shit's like gonna sell.
It sells itself, motherfucker.
IG looks at your pictures. They look at our pictures and they do a little algorithm.
They got an algorithm. Look at his titties.
This nigga need a big nigga shirt.
That nigga need a t-shirt that fit. This shit looking young in the shoulders. Like he need Manscaped. They be sending me shit about how to dye your beard. I'm like,
yes.
I have never searched beard dye in my life.
I get beard situations and I get the keeps shit. I'm like, it's already gone, dog. I ain't got nothing to keep. I ain't never looked up keeps a day in my life. They're like, you fit whatever the profile.
And we out here worried about a fucking vaccine. That's how they get you, nigga. They done got us.
The thing is, though, it's always been some people are gonna take the shit, some people not. But like you said, I don't like just people out here just trying to dissuade other people. Like,
and these are usually the same people who are talking about freedom of choice. These are usually the same people who are like, yo, I want to be able to choose this, I want to be able to choose that, but they don't want you to be able to make your choice for what it is that you got.
The woman getting an abortion, then they don't want nobody to choose shit. That's the only time they decide. That's the only time they decide the government can do what they want with your body.
That's it.
But when they're like, hey, please take a vaccine so we can stop the spread of this deadly virus. Whoa, freedom! Don't tread on me.
Yeah, you're doing too much now.
I got raped and I need this abortion. Hey! No, that's not your choice.
It's God. That was God did that.
Give us that baby.
Yeah, God wants you to have that baby.
No, don't give it to us. You raise that motherfucker. You keep it.
And don't ask me for nothing.
Yeah, don't ask the government for no help.
After it's born, I don't give a fuck. Don't let that nigga die. But he must be born. He could be the next Martin Luther King.
Now, y'all boys, we coming to the end here of. Well, no, we not. I feels weird to say that, but it feels like we're coming to the end of COVID. People are getting vaccinated.
Of this COVID.
DeSantis said that shit was over about a month ago.
Yeah,
that shit was over in October from DeSantis.
I mean, I've been in restaurants. Some of the waiters got masks on. Some people don't.
I was in a restaurant and the waiter said, I'm not wearing a mask because I'm vaccinated. If you'd like to see my vaccination card. I was like, well, that's nice of you, but you don't got to talk so close, my nigga.
You ain't got to.
That's still 6 feet. It's still 6 feet.
You must have been in a nice quality restaurant because in the restaurants I've been in, I was in Longhorns on the other day and ain't nobody offering up nothing. Niggas just walking around. Steak and
shake wonder why. They're rude as shit.
Niggas just walking around, nose out, mouth out. So you gotta just take it on, you know what I'm saying, face value. That
my girl today. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting, but I've been drinking, so it's not my fault. My girl today, we were walking in the Target, and I was like, man, because I just finally I'm starting to feel a little bit better about the whole shit. So I done joined the gym again. I'm like, let me try this. So because they keep sending me fat nigga shirts, so I'm like, damn, let me get my shit. I'm gonna try to get my shit together a little bit so my titties aren't protruding in my IG pictures. So I was like, okay. So I was like, man, I was like, yo, there's a lot of people without masks. And she was like, she's like, yeah, the mask thing is fucked up. It's like, because I'm jarred when I see a person's mouth and nose.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like,
yeah.
What?
Bro, let me tell you.
It's like you naked out of this motherfucker. Like,
we had our graduation at the school that I work at. We had our graduation last week, Friday, right? And so I was like calling the names. And I really had to use the cards because people had their mask off. Now these are kids who I've been teaching all year. I didn't know what these niggas look like. I was like, who is that? Bro, when you cover up this much of your face, you could be anybody, dog.
That shit makes you believe in that superhero. You know that
yes, that Clark Kent situation.
Yeah, you're like,
I'm looking at kids. I'm like, who is that?
Chris is like,
it's me, Mr. Maddox. I had you all year.
Chris is like, yuck mouth,
snaggletooth. What are you doing? So
I didn't know your teeth was that fucked up, man.
So people are out, they're not wearing masks, right? Masks are well, some people are, some people aren't. The reason why I bring this up is because one of the things that came out of COVID, there were two things that came out of it I think really were good for the culture. You had D Nice. Every single night he had a quarantine club where he was playing. I mean, he was spinning and he was killing it. Like oldies, all type of music. Everybody was loving that. And then Timbaland and Swizz Beatz started the Versuz series. And when Versuz hit, and everybody was like, damn, this is perfect, you know. And we've seen it evolve from being on Zoom, you know what I mean, and having with Teddy Riley and the audio problems and all of that.
Old niggas trying to figure out technology.
We got all of that. We had Gucci Mane and Jeezy, major Versuz situation where like a serious blood vendetta was handled in front of everybody, you know. Snoop Dogg and DMX, you know what I'm saying? You had Bounty Killer and Beanie Man. So we had some that was
was the best one, man.
E40 and Too Short. That was personally my favorite one.
So
the ones when they were in the same room was fucking fire.
Yeah. And so we have all of that. And so now, as things are winding down, I need y'all opinions on, are you hyped? We got two verses coming up. I saw today that it is confirmed that first Trina and Eve. And I was like, okay, I don't know. First of all, does Eve have 20 hits?
Does Trina have 20 songs?
Trina easily got 20 songs, but Trina
got 20 songs.
Trina got like
but
four, maybe. Like, you know, when I think about Versus, I'm thinking like, okay, how many songs when they are that when they come on, I'm gonna be like, oh. And with Trina, I think maybe 3. Nan niggas
they got
1.
3 about each.
Yeah,
They're gonna play like Gangsta Lovin', Nan.
What? I don't even know what Gangsta Lovin' is.
That's the one with Alicia Keys. That's the one with Alicia Keys.
Gangsta. Okay, so you got
Gangsta Lovin', something like that.
You got.
Yeah, I mean,
she had one with Gwen Stefani too. The Let Me Blow Your Mind.
Eve's first album had bangers. Like it
did.
Really did. But
did they survive the test of time?
Also, they weren't big hits.
And they're not club jams. A lot of what wins Versus is when they cut your song on, it reminds you of like someone using the club. I don't have no.
Trina's gonna win if that's the case. Trina
gonna win if that's the case, because I mean now. I was talking to my wife. My wife was like, "What I really like Eve in Barbershop." So I was like, "Damn." So what if in the middle of the verses they stop and they play that apple juice scene? They're like, "Now we know y'all gonna love this. It's not a jam or nothing, but who stole my apple juice?" Play on it. Because after a while, I'm like, Eve gave up on music a long time ago. Eve got what? One album? 2 albums?
She got 2 albums for sure.
She could play that Roots track. If you're worried about where,
but all she doing on there is like narrating, like that's really black.
What else she got, bro? She got
Eve got bangers.
Love is blind. I would call that a banger though, but it was good.
She got some Rough Rider songs.
She got some dope shit like Philly, but I don't even know if that's some shit. I don't know if that's one that's like other. I don't know if people know that track.
I also don't know if there's going to be any competitive vibe between Trina and Eve, like what that vibe is going to be like. Period. Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know too much about.
I think the next one. Go ahead and tell them the next one. That one's worse.
She got Who's That Girl.
Oh, this man looked up the discography.
I did. I said, let me blow your mind. That was
Who's that girl?
What's Satisfaction? I don't know what that shit is. That shit is bad when you can't even.
I'm looking at your face right now, and the look of your face as you read this discography is proving what I already thought. Like this is going to be a Versus with a whole lot of talking in between. And the songs are
you used to have to get to 20 songs.
You used to have to have 20 hits to even be in it, and not just songs, like 20 hits. You know what I mean? Yeah, like hits.
That first one, what was it? Manny Fresh and Scott. That was a banger, man. That whole thing.
They had Lil Jon and T-Pain. Like, bro, these were like just certified hit makers and
back to back.
Ludacris versus T.I. And it's just like, yo, these guys. It's not even just their own tracks. They've been featured on some of the biggest songs ever.
Yes.
It's like.
And so you could keep it going, and then it builds the momentum because then they did the response. All right, you gonna play that, then I'm gonna play this. I don't know how that works with Trina and Eve though. Like,
but I've been waiting for somebody to go up against Busta properly, and that's a hard fucking task.
It's got to be somebody like Q-Tip, like somebody.
But Q-Tip ain't got them bangers, nigga.
Busta from our high school time, from like 95 through like 2000,
from Scenario till about 2010, and then he had the joint. My kids know who Busta Rhymes is.
Yeah,
like the joint with Chris Brown. Like he's got bangers for like 25 years.
But that's why he said it. He said nobody wants to go up. You know, nobody don't want to face him head up.
I think he put it's got to be somebody somebody from that era though. Like
it's got to be like Diddy versus Busta.
Yeah, something like that.
And they do. You got to be able to not just songs he was on. He executive produced.
I mean, Busta got that jam with Janet Jackson is a
gotta make. That was a shit.
That was the shit. Like
I was at my barber, and one day they just played Busta's greatest hits, and I was there for an hour. Mm-hmm. I stayed a little bit afterwards because they just dangerous. Yeah. They were playing some shit I forgot were bangers. Like. Just put your hands where I can see.
All in check.
Everything remains raw. Like, the whole time.
That's that shit right there. Yeah.
Like, oh, God. And every time I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot Busta did this shit.
Yes. And that's what Versus is supposed to do. Now, our next Versus we got coming up.
Tell them this one.
And our topic is this. Has Versus served its purpose? Versus was supposed to be a way everybody is stuck in the house It was supposed to be a way to, like, you know what I'm saying, give people something to do, some type of camaraderie, some community. Are y'all ready? Are you ready for Ray J? Ray J Norwood, Brandy's little brother, and the one and only Lil Bow Wow, Lil Bow Weezy. And I saw that and I was like,
we're done. This is it.
This is it. I say at this point, Versus, maybe y'all have hit your limit. Maybe there's nowhere else to go because we are now on Bow Wow and Ray J.
We've jumped the shark right now.
we've jumped it. Now, Bow Wow had a moment in time. I was already too grown for Bow Wow. By the time Bow Wow was on the scene, I was already out of his target audience situation. Ray J, I've never been a huge Ray J fan. I only know one Ray J song, really, which is that song One Wish.
And where they say, isn't that no? I thought it was isn't that Brandy's brother song?
No, that's the one with Lil Kim on it. The Wait a Minute.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all know a lot more. I don't know.
Should probably go 3 songs.
That's
deep.
2. I know. Yeah, I know 2 songs already. I know the One Wish, and I know the song with Lil Kim because the beat was horrible.
Don't Ray J always sound like somebody is slightly pushing him in his back when he sings? You know, like somebody's always slightly like.
Like, I'm looking at his greatest hits. Be With You. I don't know what that is. Party's Over.
No idea.
I Hit It First.
Oh, that's a song about Kim K.
Kim and K, yeah.
Last One Wish. Okay, we got one. We got one that we know. Melody.
No idea.
He might hit it first, but I'm rich. What do you say? What Kanye say in response to that shit?
Man. But so do we? I guess we all in agreement though that that Versus is basically.
You know what it is? It's not
this
that
versus boo-boo.
It has served.
This one is boo boo,
and it served its purpose because of the fact that niggas got tours and shit to do now. They all concert venues are opening back up. Like, it's hard to get A-listers because Versus was supposed to be like people with
you had 20 20
bangers back to back.
Yeah.
You had to have a catalog about you. Like, you had to be established.
That's what it was about. My catalog versus your catalog.
Yeah. And now it's just like 2 niggas who ain't got shit to do right now.
Yeah.
Like, that is
and they ain't gonna have shit to do for a minute.
Hey, you free on Saturday, nigga?
Now, I will say Ray J apparently has been doing some very good entrepreneurial stuff or whatever. But this nigga Bow Wow,
dog, to do with music.
Not at all. Bow Wow,
on social media is sad.
Lil Mike, like Mike, this nigga out here lying on private jets, telling stories. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Bow Wow. I'm not checking for this one.
Yeah, I'm not checking for either.
I mean, even so, like, what Bow Wow song you really getting hype over?
None.
Is
nigga.
there a Bow Wow song you getting hype over?
None. What's it? What? I don't. I'm trying to think of something. But
he had one song with Snoop, but I don't even remember how that shit goes.
Yes,
that we playing bask.
That was the one.
No, that's not it.
That's
but
my favorite thing.
No, he had the one with Snoop when he was. But that song, he was a little nigga on that song. The one with Snoop, and that,
I don't even remember how that shit goes. Honestly, I just know Bow Wow
but
was.
You know what? Here's a problem with the Ray J Bow Wow thing. These, you know, when it was like Jagged Edge versus who was it against?
112.
Like it was for our generation and up.
Mm-hmm.
You start bringing in Bow Wow and Ray J, niggas like us is like.
I'm like,
that's true. That's true too. Who is their audience? You know what I mean? Like even Keisha Cole and what's Ashanti had an audience. You know what I mean? Like they targeting somebody. Like
that shit was kind of fluke too.
J?
The Keisha Cole and Ashanti one was a little fluke too. They was on. We should have seen that this was coming when we had Keisha Cole and Ashanti.
Both of y'all, listen. We talking that cash right now, but if it come that Sunday night and it's Bow Wow versus Ray J, and your girl pull up. Like, woo, shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to the other room, man.
You ain't gonna fake the funk. You lose a
little respect for your girl, right?
No, I'm gonna tell you what you do. What you realize is like, damn, I'm really robbing the cradle. Because if your girl is, if she real hyped by Bow Wow and shit, like,
a Bow Wow fan.
Yeah, that's some shit. Like, girl, you ain't tell me you was a Bow Wow fan. Like, damn, I ain't know. I ain't know you was into,
reconsider some shit.
I ain't know you was into the Bow Weezy. I didn't know. And now he just calls himself Bow Wow. I'm like, bro, just get rid of the whole dog motif, nigga. Just call yourself Whatever your name is.
Just use your name, Chad.
I'm just Chad.
Bow.